taking the Beetle out for a drive. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out the gear ratios based on the speed versus the tachometer. So in first gear, at 3,000 RPMs, 12.7. In second gear, 24.6. Third gear, 37.8. In fourth gear, 57.0. Okay, got the numbers. Now let's go home and do the math. So wheel diameter is 26.3, and then so the circumference is that times pi. The circumference in feet is that divided by 12, and the circumference in miles is that divided by 5280. All right, so the circumference of my wheel is 0.0013 miles. Let's make a note of that. Circumference in miles, 0.0013. All right. Next thing, we have the gear, the RPM, and the speed in miles per hour. And then we're going to do miles per minute. So in first gear at 3,000 RPM, 12.7, and so that equals this divided by 60. Second gear, 24.6. Third gear, 37.8. Fourth gear, 57 miles per hour. Miles per minute is 0.211, 0.41, 0.63, 0.95. Next thing is wheel revolutions per minute. And then we'll just type it in. 162, 315, 484, 730. All right, next, final ratio. So what is the stock ratios? Which is also the rack and pinion. So stock on a 67 Beetle, they said was 4.125. 4.125. And stock first gear is 3.8. Stock second gear is 2.06. Stock third gear is 1.32. Stock fourth gear is 0.89. With a 412 final drive. 5. The actual gear ratio would be equals this divided by that. 4.48%. All right, so that's off. So that's 15%. So obviously it's not a 4125. Let's see what the next gear ratio is. 4.375. So 4.375. That's better, but it's still 5% off and 10% for first gear. 4.57. So let's change that to 4.57. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm 1 to 2% for these three, but I'm still 6% off. However, I can tell you I was having a hard time measuring first gear, so I don't know that I was getting that number right. So it is possible, because obviously the dude put in a really tall differential. I wonder if he also put in a tall first gear for rock climbing. I'm going to say that my gear ratio is 4.57 for the ring and pinion. Second through fourth are all standard gears, and possibly I have a taller first gear, but there you go. Mission accomplished. I've discovered my gear ratio, so I just learned one more thing about my Beetle. Now it's time to move on.